This episode is brought to you by the Thrive Tribe. Check it out at chasingbrighter.com/Thrive Tribe. Hey, welcome back to Chasing Brighter, your go to midlife guide to living your best life. Today, we're talking about what I know, Kelly knows, we know you guys all want, but we don't make time for, and that is rest. And we're not just talking about crashing on the couch because you're completely depleted. We're talking about intentional, joyful, nourishing rest. Oh, that sounds glorious. The kind that actually fills you up and helps you feel alive. So grab a lemonade or a green tea
Or a frozen
and
margarita.
yes, or your Stanley mug if you're driving. And, or maybe it's just time to take a walk because today we are building our summer rest plan.
I love this. I love a summer rest plan. So we want to have three different parts of this. And the first part we're talking about, which I'm just obsessed with this, create your rest menu. So we want to start with something that we love, right? This is our first part of starting with something we love, which is creating a rest menu. Think of this like your personal menu of things that restore you, not what someone else says is restful, but what you know brings you peace. So just start writing out what you could pick and choose from during the summer. So we have a few things that it might include sitting on your porch with your favorite drink, taking a long walk with no destination, journaling while listening to soft music. And that reminds me, listeners, we have a giveaway. If you go to our website, chasingbrighter.com, and sign up for our newsletter, we will send over our Chasing Brighter playlist, our Spotify playlist, which I think
Oh,
will be great to
yeah.
have on your rest menu.
The other thing, I love that, and I can't wait to share that with our listeners. So definitely check that out on our blog. Some of the other things could include saying no to plans, binge watching your comfort show, reading outside under a tree, crafting or painting with no outcome in mind. The goal here is to create a menu of micro moments that you can sprinkle in throughout the summer, throughout your day. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's just you being true to you.
You might want to pause in a second. You might want to pause this and wait till you pull your car over. Or if you did get your journal at the beginning, we want you to write this down right now. But what are three things that make you feel rested and restored? So take a moment to write those out or even just to pause and mentally note.
With summer, Jess, one of the things that for me, I'm thinking about that does help me feel rested and restored is in the mornings, grabbing my cup of coffee, like it said, and sitting on my back patio and just enjoying the summer. Summers are fleeting moments here in Chicago. In fact, it really hasn't arrived yet. Hopefully, it does in a couple weeks. Sometimes it comes and goes, but just sitting in those quiet moments is something I love. What's an example of something that you love, Jess? That's
Literal
on your
rest,
rest menu.
6 to 7 AM during the school year, I am up doing school stuff, and so I sleep in until 7 in the summer, so
Oh,
literally sleeping in,
that's a
every
great
day.
one. I
Yeah, I
love
love that.
that.
We also have a pool and a spa, and one thing I did was I've been heating up the spa, and then Jess and I have been going to sit in it at night. So, like, I've lived here 16 years, and I don't do that regularly, so I'm trying to add that in.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Moving on to part 2.
So, this is about blocking out your recharge days. So, we got to get real here. If it's not on your calendar, it's not going to happen. I know we're all so busy. So we also want to talk about recharge days. So these are days where your only plans are to feel good, rest, and reset. I love this. So, some examples of that, Jess?
A weekend with no errands, solo coffee date with your book. I like that. Do you ever take a book and go to the coffee shop? I don't do that.
I used to before
Yeah,
kids. I don't.
yeah,
I need to.
yeah,
Or just a half day off work. I
yeah.
do that. I take off Fridays, particularly the mornings, where I have coffee with friends and then I go work out. And that's really been. And then when the pool is open at my gym, I'll sit outside in the pool. So I think I'm
Yeah,
trying to make, I don't do nearly as good of a job as I used to. This is why we want to talk about this, right? Is being
yeah,
really deliberate
yeah.
and intentional about what we're doing.
When we don't have a tournament, I literally do nothing, and I love it. And even though I was dealing with a sick child, I it was delightful for me. I sat on the couch in my pajamas all day on Saturday, and I put together a photo album for the Girl Scouts. And I love doing digital stuff. That really fuels
Mm.
me, and I really enjoyed doing that. And then we watched movies, and so I try, if there's no tournament, to maybe have a pajama day. What is really important, I know we talked about that in a Superwoman Diaries, Kelly, you talking about how, oh, I'll have a day that's so busy, packed to the gills, and then the next day, not as busy as a day. So I think it's
Yes,
important looking at your calendar, actually block out the time and label it in there rest day. Or maybe for you, it's rest hour, rest 2 hours. Or you can give it a fun name like Slow Sunday. Kelly, you have Freedom
I
Fridays,
do have
right?
Freedom Friday. Yes.
And we're giving you this permission slip to pause on purpose.
And just a little tip here, you need to treat these like you have an appointment you can't cancel. Rest is productive. Even if you're telling people, I'm sorry, I have an appointment, I can't make X, Y, and Z, to really make this a priority for yourself, block that time out.
Yes. And moving on to part 3, let go of FOMO and embrace JOMO. Now, we talked about JOMO in
Love our
season
JOMO.
1, I believe it was, reading the Oliver Berkman's book. Yeah, Oliver
Yes.
Berkman's book, 4,000 Weeks, and he talks about JOMO. So if you're not familiar, FOMO is fear of missing out. So it's really come from social media where you see all these people doing all these fun things and then you're freaking out because you feel like you're missing out. But JOMO is the joy of missing out. And it's real, especially in the summer when people are traveling, posting beach days or RSVPing to all these things. You're thinking like you're missing out. But we want to invite you to flip it and welcome in the joy of missing out.
Yeah. JOMO can be something like just feeling joy in your quiet backyard instead of a crowded pool party, or choosing a slow dinner at home instead of a jam packed weekend,
Yeah.
or just saying no to one thing so you can say yes to yourself. We ended up even just drawing a parallel for Memorial Weekend for Beckett had a big soccer tournament, and we said no. And it's the
Yeah.
first time we ever did that, and I feel terrible about it, and I feel guilty for the other families and kids because he's not gonna be there, and we just gotta, and you know what? Every parent I've talked to, they're like, "Do what you gotta do." I don't A lot of them feel the same way, but I feel not great about it. Anyway, I'm not quite about the joy of it yet, but I know I will be
I think
when
it
I'm
kind of
enjoying the week.
and getting into the self-talk of it too and knowing yourself, and it's like reminding yourself that you're not missing out and that you're choosing
Yes.
peace, and that's really powerful, and also
Yes.
reminding yourself, like, there is something about people who ski that gives me FOMO, and I'll see
Oh,
this, like,
100%.
ski family, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, we should be a ski family. Why aren't we a ski family?" And it's because I don't freaking like skiing. Justin and I went a few years ago, and I thought I was gonna die the whole time. It's old, and it was, like, truly I would rather be in a cabin, or we could talk about a coffee shop, having coffee and reading a book. And so it's like being real with yourself on what you enjoy and not getting wrapped up in what other people are doing by knowing yourself. And that brings us to a reflection question here. What can you lovingly say no to this summer? Because alternately, you're saying yes to rest.
I love that.
And we just want to wrap up this simple little summer rest plan, right? By reminding you what we talked about. First, put this on your phone because our phones are with us all the time. Your summer rest menu. Put in all of these little things that you can sprinkle in through your week this summer.
Yes, micro moments.
Mhm.
Second is to, you got your rest plan and you're doing that, but also try to find time where you can block out recharge days, even if it's a half day, but a good solid block of time that is just about you and your recharge.
Yeah. And finally, let go of FOMO and lean into the beautiful joy of missing out. This summer, we want you to rest like it's sacred because it is.
And we'd love to hear what's on your rest menu. So be sure to tag us on social media on Instagram as at Chasing Brighter or shoot us a DM. Share that with us so we can all be inspired and inspire each other to slow down and soak it up.
Yeah. Don't forget to rest along the way this summer.
Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop.
If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Find us on Instagram, Facebook at Chasing Brighter, or check out our blog at chasingbrighter.com and follow us. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks. Remember, your best life is just a listen away.